This is chapter number 1, Constitution, Why and How. We are taking passage-based questions of class 11 political science. We have to read the passage and then answer the question which are following. So let us read the passage first. I have realized, as nobody else could have, with what zeal and devotion the members of the drafting committee and especially its chairman, Dr. Ambedkar, in spite of his indifferent health, has worked. We could never make a decision which was or could be ever so right as when we put him on the drafting committee and made him its chairman. He hasn't only justified his selection but has added luster to the work which he has done. In this connection, it would be invidious to make any distinction as among the other members of the committee. I know they have all worked with same zeal and devotion and its chairman, and they deserve the thanks of the country. Now the question is, who was the chairman of the drafting committee? The answer is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Bhimrao Ambedkar was the chairman of the drafting committee. What made the Constituent Assembly of India unique? The Constituent Assembly, Samvidhan Sabha of India, included the members of all shades of opinion who did not simply advance their interest, but gave principled reasons to other members. That is, there was debate on every aspect except the voting, universal suffrage. How long the Constitution of India took in framing? So it took 2 years, 11 months, 18 days, almost 3 years. Who was the chairman of the Constituent Assembly? Dr. Rajendra Prasad. He was the chairman of the Constituent Assembly. Now the next passage. One likes to ask whether there can be anything new in Constitution framed at this hour in the history of the world. The only new things, if there can be any, in a constitution framed so late in the day are the variations made to remove the faults and to accommodate it to the needs of the country. The question is, whose words have been referred to here? The answer is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar have been referred to. What was the main new thing according to B.R. Ambedkar during the process of framing the Indian Constitution? So according to B.R. Ambedkar Sahab, the only new thing in the new Constitution framed so late in the day are the variations made to remove the failures and accommodate it to the needs of India. Now we are taking the long answer type questions. Write the preamble to the Indian Constitution. So the preamble is, we, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic and political liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all the fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution. What was Objectives Resolution? Uddeshya Prastavana. Explain. So the best summary of the principle that the nationalist movement, Rashtriya Andolan, brought to the Constituent Assembly, that is the Samvidhan Sabha, is the objective resolution that defines the aim of the Assembly moved by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru in 1946. It encapsulated the aspirations and the values behind the Constitution. That is, India is an independent sovereign republic. India shall be a union of erstwhile British Indian territories, Indian states and other parts outside British India, and the Indian states as are willing to be part of the union. Territories forming the union shall be autonomous units and exercise all powers and functions of the government and administration. except those assigned to or vested in the Union. All people of India should be guaranteed and secured social, economic and political justice, equality of status and opportunities and equality before law and fundamental freedom of speech, expression, belief, faith, worship, association and action subject to law and public morality. The minorities, backward and tribal areas, depressed and other backward classes shall be provided adequate safeguards. The land would make full and willing contributions to the promotion of world peace and welfare of the mankind, and all powers and authority of sovereign and independent India and its constitution shall flow from the people. The territorial integrity of Republic and its sovereign rights on land, sea and air shall be maintained according to justice and law of civilized nations. What are the unique features of Indian Constitution? The unique features of Indian Constitution is, first, Indian Constitution is a written set of rules and regulations, and it is the lengthiest constitution in the world. It contains 395 articles, 12 schedules and a book of more than 250 pages. Indian Constitution has provided to Indian citizens fundamental rights and to establish a welfare state. Directive principles, Niti Nirdeshak Tattva of state policy have also been generated. By the 42nd Amendment in 1976, fundamental duties have also been added up in the Constitution, around 10. Indian Constitution is federal in structure but unitary in spirit, that is Ekatmak and Sanghatmak. The Indian Constitution is a blend of flexibility and rigidity, that is some of the articles in Constitution can be amended by a simple majority, but some require 2/3 majority of the parliament and voting in each house, as well as to be ratified by at least half of the state legislatures. Along with the feature taken from these sources. First, the Government of India Act 1935, about 2/3 of the Indian Constitution is derived from the Government of India Act, which was in 1935. That was the provincial autonomy, parliamentary system, federal count and federal system. From the British Constitution, we took parliamentary form of government, the idea of the rule of law, institution of the speaker and his role, law-making procedure, single citizenship and single integrated judiciary. From United States of America Constitution, Charter of Fundamental Rights, we took power of judicial review and independence of the judiciary and preamble to Constitution. From Ireland, Irish Constitution, we took the guidelines to the state, that is provided for the guidelines to the state and included directive principles of state policy. French Constitution, we took principle of liberty, equality and fraternity. Canadian Constitution, the quasi-federal form of government, that is the federal system with a strong central government and the idea of residual powers. From German Constitution, emergency provisions and Indian President's powers to impose external or internal emergencies. Now we are taking the picture-based questions. We have to read this cartoon. This is given in your book. And you have to answer, does this anyway always happen in any constitution making? The thing written here is, this is this European constitution. Countries of the European Union tried to create a European constitution. The attempt failed. So here is a cartoonist impression of this attempt. So the answer is no, this does not happen in all constitution making. If the representative in Constituent Assembly, that is the Samvidhan Sabha, these are elected either directly or indirectly from all sections of the society, the attempt of framing constitution would be successful. Now here is the cartoon. The constitution makers have to address themselves to very different aspirations. So here is Nehru, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru is trying to balance between different visions and ideologies. So can you identify what these different groups stands for? The cartoon refers to different religions, the cultures, the caste, the regions. They have different preferences, that is liberal nationalist and radical nationalist we have. What do you think prevailed in this balancing act? So both the songs, Jana Gana Mana and Vande Mataram, they were accepted as national heritage. The first is our national anthem and second is our national song. All the Indians show respect and sing both the songs. And despite so many diversities of languages, customs, cultures, festivals, and the whole country has the same respect for this national song and the tricolor, that is the flag. So they balance the diversity of India. Here we have the writings of the new Iraqi constitution after the collapse of Saddam Hussein regime. Saw a lot of conflict between different ethnic groups in the country. That is the Sunnis and the Shias and the Kurds. What do these different people stand for? Compare the conflict depicted here with that depicted in earlier cartoons for the European Union and India. So what they are saying is not that they have agreed to join hands. We expect a constitution very soon, Baghdad. So the chief is saying that I have got the paper, I'll write it. The Shiites are saying I've got the pen, I should write it. The Sunnis are saying, and the Kurds, I've got the ink, let me write it. So what do these different people stand for? The answer is the cartoonist is referring to different ethnic groups in Iraq. The Shia, the Sunnis and the Kurds. The above groups stand for their own philosophies, ideologies and interest. Compare the conflict depicted here with that depicted in earlier cartoons for the European Union and India. So the Iraqi people expect to frame a new constitution and to be accepted by all the ethnic groups of Iraq. Shiites, Sunnis and the Kurds. So in the European Union, the attempt of the people failed, but in India, the same attempt got success. Now, here we have the cards, the cards. So why does the cartoonist describe the new Iraqi constitution as the castle of cards, the playing cards? Now the answer is because it is being prepared by pro-US. Because after Saddam Hussein downfall, the Shia community, which was basically in Iraq, we have Shia, Sunni and Kurds. Now Shia and Sunni, the Sunni are in the minority. The Sunnis were in minority, but Saddam Hussein belonged to the Sunni community. So he was ruling it. Now the Shia community, which was in majority, the US now wants to make this constitution along with this majority Shia community. So the people as well as the Constituent Assembly of Iraq is not representing the all ethnic groups of the country. Therefore, the constitution is imposed and will be scattered as a castle of cards, which ultimately happened because we saw what unrest happened in Iraq after this, and then the advent of ISIS took place. Apply to the Indian constitution. Now this description does not apply to Indian constitution. Why? Because the Indian constitution, Bharatiya Samvidhan, is not imposed on Indians, but it was framed from among different shades of opinion after a long discussion and debates. 166 meetings, around 2 years, 11 months, 18 days it took. It was adopted by people willfully because all the framers were well respected by the people and they have come from the national movement, and it is a living document to be amended from time to time at par aspirations of people. So amendment, modification is possible. So these were the question and answer. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself.